Hello, everyone. Hola, mundo. Welcome, world. And welcome to Voces Poderosas 2023. I'm Jackie Bouvier, and I'm shining the light on our nation's most potent voices of influence. I'm creating a movement that is inspiring and empowering our Latinidad through powerful and influential voices. Voces Poderosas is a transformative mini series that features trailblazers, spearheads, catalysts, pioneers. These professionals have insightful wisdom that will inform, empower, and help catapult you to the next level of success. This is just an amazing Hispanic Heritage Month edition, and I'm enjoying every single bit of it. Today, I have the grand honor and pleasure to introduce to you someone that I consider my dearest amiga, a woman who is shaking this nation and creating a Hispanic movement. She is a founder of We're All Human and Global Goals Cast. She is a special advisor to the United Nations, a marketing genius, a guru, and a revolutionary catalyst who believes in the power of Hispanics in the United States. Claudia Romo.
Oy, gracias. Thank you so much for having me, for your kind words, and for the partnership and the friendship over the years.
Claudia. Claudia, thank you so much. Thank you for being on Voces Poderosas. I'm pleased and honored to have you. You're a powerful influencer, as I mentioned before, with so much to share, so much to give to Latinos who look up to you. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to spread your wealth of knowledge and expertise to the world. So I'll ask you a couple of questions, or a few very long questions, if you will. So can you tell me a little bit about your story? Who are you? What is your story? And what does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you, right? I feel like you're the queen of Hispanic Heritage Month in the United States. So if you could tell me a
I,
little bit of that.
so I am the daughter of two basketball players. My mother was a she was a player on the national team. She was part of the national team of Mexico. She went to the Panamericanos, to all the, like to all the games representing Mexico. She met my father, also on the game. I was a Mexican on the upbringing. As soon as I finished school, I'm very inspired by my mom on taking risks of like being able to reinvent yourself and challenge and follow your true passion in a way. I left Mexico as soon as I finished college, and I went to live and work in Europe for 25 years, very much focused on being a marketer for social causes and doing mobilization campaigns. So I did pretty much, like 10, 12 United Nations agencies. I was for 10 years at the World Economic Forum, worked on refugees for the United Nations Refugee Agency, on public health with the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. And I was doing all that when my work brought me to New York. And I was working with the UNICEF and the United Nations, with the Secretary General of the UN. And when I moved to the States, that was the first ever time that I heard that I was a Hispanic. I was like, what is that? I've been a happy Mexican my entire life, and I never heard that word in my life before. And so I kept on working on global affairs, launched the Sustainable Development Goals, started seeing how racism, xenophobia, and discrimination were getting traction and growing a lot. And so I brought the idea to the table to do a mobilization campaign on humanity, on bringing us all together. So I created the foundation We Are All Human as a campaign to remind people just of that we are all human, that we belong to the same human family, to move from tolerance to acceptance and stop the racism, discrimination, and xenophobia that was growing so much. But then the more I started learning about this Hispanic thing that I was going to belong to, and as soon as I got married to an American, I was like, I'm right, I'm staying. And so what it meant is that I had an opportunity to learn and to apply all the things that over the years I was able to learn, all the tips and tricks, all the things that I've seen move the hearts and minds of people, the behavior, and to realize that change is possible. And I want to change for my community. So I started focusing on the Latino community. I left the United Nations fully, 6 years ago and started devoting myself to showcasing the incredible contributions of Latinos to the country by unifying Latinos, increasing the pride of Latinos, and start mobilizing the partners that need to engage with us in a strong way. So that's where Hispanic Heritage Month comes into play, because I think that it's not that we Latinos are only Hispanics 1 month of a year, but it is a great opportunity to coordinate, to sing from the same song sheet, to have as many people as possible transmitting that message. We're positive contributors to the country. Hispanic progress is American progress. And to do that in an occasion that people allow us to talk. It is the time of the year in which you have media opening up their stories. You have companies opening up their celebrations. And so I want to make sure that we all understand that it is not the only opportunity, but is one that I think that we should get an invitation forward to raise our voices, to make sure that Hispanic Heritage Month is as big as Pride meets Halloween, where we want to see, like Latinos in the windows, in the talking points, in the t-shirts of everybody celebrating us as what we are, stars, positive contributors to the countries, understanding that America is made of stars and we're one of them.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's one thing I loved about you the moment I met you. It's that passion you have. And also, you're so motivated by making this something powerful, but also making that change and difference of how we see our Latinidad here in this country. And I love that about you. Thank you so much. I'm curious to see what you can share to professionals in your industry and your experience that can help positively encourage, empower, shed the light on Latinos because we are all amazing, of course. We're all Hispanic stars, but what do we still have to achieve, Claudia, from your perspective? What can you share from your experience?
I mean, things are changing for us in the good way. We're every time getting more traction. The time for Latinos has begun. When I started this journey 5 years ago, I was like, the time for Latinos should start now. It is now. Let's do it. It started. It's happening. We're rolling. We're breaking through. There's more tortillas sold than bread. There's more salsa sold than ketchup. We're the number one, number two, number three music hits in the country, in the world. So it is happening. Latinos are powerful. We just have to go and claim our Latinidad and do it in a way that makes us bring allies together, and everybody understands that what is good for Hispanics is good for Americans. Therefore, everybody needs to invest in the Latino community as part of the growth for the entire nation. I think that professionals still have, we as professionals, as Latinos communities, we still have a distorted mirror. We still have the light off of the room where we're trying to walk in. So we're making progress. We measured according to the Hispanic sentiment study that we did 5 years ago to today, and we're every time getting better. 77% of Latinos did not know their own contributions to the country. They didn't know how many we are, how powerful we are, how young we are. Now we know more. We need to get that number even higher. Everybody needs to know that Latinos are progress, power, and prosperity. We're making progress, but it is up to us to turn on the light, to open the eyes of everybody, particularly Latinos, just to change the perspective and understand that we're not weak. We're strong. We're not small. We're big. And when you read the data and get your data, and when you get the history of Latinos and our own contributions, that's enough to turn on the light, to open the eyes. But then you have to start making the shift. And there are techniques like flip the script. When you have the data, you can flip the script easy and turn tables. When I tell you that we are 14% of the GDP of the country, that means that every time you go out in the street, you could say to anybody in the eyes, you're welcome. You're welcome for the 14% of your salary and yours, because that's what Latinos are generating. And when you're in that position of power, when you have the knowledge of 14% of the population, it's harder for people to push you around. They're like, oh, you're only taker. You're like, no, I'm not a taker. I'm a maker. And I'm making it because I'm paying taxes, the Social Security, because without Latinos, there's no way that companies can hire or sell, because there's no way that a politician can win. And so when you start getting into the know, you start flipping the script for yourself, and you start moving from stereotypes to facts and from weaknesses two strengths, and there are techniques to do that. And we're working with individuals. That's why we launched our podcast, A La Latina, the playbook to
Awesome.
succeed in your authentic self, to give the playbook exactly. How does it work? What are the rules of the game? Who has made it? What are the inspirations? What are the things that you can do to flip the script? But also, we have to work on those environments where we work, the companies, so that they know how to create inclusive environments. They know who we are, so that they can understand better that when we don't participate in a meeting, it's not that we're either apathic or disrespectful. We are respectful for authority. We're not submissive. We're waiting for an invitation to talk. So if you're a manager and you know that information, then you're obviously going to flip the script and say, aha, I see. You have traditions. You're respectful for my authority. I'm going to use it to invite you. Jackie, what do you think? And when we are in the know, when we're able to flip the script, it is a win-win for everybody, because organizations are going to have more retention, more promotion. Latinos, Latinas are going to be able to feel that they can be themselves. They're going to be able to self-advocate better. They're going to be able to self-promote better and actually get the country, the companies to grow and succeed, because the companies are going to be reflecting the consumers and the communities that they serve.
Wow. And that's the first thing I felt the first time I heard you speak. It was a few years ago at a Prospanica keynote that you did. And I just remember not only did you come out and it looked like just air was flowing through your hair, and it was probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then you just laid it on us and you just explained exactly what you just did. And it's powerful because not only have you created a movement, but you've also brought people together to understand and see that this is what it is, that the numbers don't lie, and that this is truthful. And that I think is more than anything powerful to understand and know, and to have everyone out there that is listening understand the insightful information that you're sharing and put it to practice. Claudia, any last words of advice that you would like to share with all of our friends out there?
Everybody wants to do the right thing. Our time is now. And organizations like ours, like the World Human Foundation, through Hispanic Star and the Hispanic Promise, are providing all the resources and tools available for companies, for individuals, to make that change happen and make it simple. We're about to launch our Hispanic Promise 2.0 in the next edition of our Hispanic Leadership Summit, happening at the United Nations in December 6 and 7. Yes, 6 and 7 of December. So if you want to re-sign the Hispanic Promise, if you want to commit, if you want to understand best practices, lessons learned, the directories of the partners that you can have, it is a must-have to come to the Hispanic Leadership Summit December 6 and 7. And then if you like what we're doing, if you're inspired by your organizations, invest in non-for-profits like ours. Donate, come to our gala on December 7th. Make sure that you're showing up and that you're saying, like, I like what I'm getting, and I'm going to make sure that I bring my organization forward, that I can buy a ticket, that I can donate to you so that you can do what we're doing, because what we're doing is working, and it is time for everybody so that we can together we shine.
Wow. What a blessing to listen to your story and your insight. And well, that you have just shared today was everything that you shared is so tremendously inspiring, and it helps others become what they were meant to be. Your voice is powerful, Claudia, and you are just willing to share your story. And that's kind and it's generous and it's beautiful. And I appreciate it with all my heart. Thank you. You are making a difference. And thank you for being on Voces Poderosas 2023.
Gracias, Voces Poderosas, for having me here.
Hasta luego.